I know, like we haven't already. Right, we have. It's just been an extraordinary roller coaster ride. I want to begin the conversation by, first of all, saying it's so good that you're here. It really took something for you to come tonight. How many of you like it really took something for you to make it tonight? Yeah, like what did it take for you to get here? Yeah.
Getting over my, oh my gosh, I have to, every night's packed, I gotta be here.
Great, perfect. Who else? Yes?
A friend of mine was in the hospital.
A friend of yours was in the hospital and like getting here was like a challenge. Eric?
He's got a million things going on at work.
Who else has got a million things going on somewhere? Right? Yes, go on.
Traffic.
Traffic, hello? Anybody not get a meal tonight? You didn't get any food? Yeah, Elizabeth, okay, but you gotta stop home in and out of the burger on the way home. All right, so here's the deal. It takes something to be here, just to get yourself in your seat. I just want to acknowledge you for your extraordinary self, for your commitment to like somehow make it work. And you can see we have empty seats, and there's some people who somehow didn't make it work. And some people will come in a little bit later, and they couldn't get here on time, so we'll certainly welcome them. And then there are people in your groups who haven't made it. And you know there's some people in your groups who just haven't been showing up at all. It takes something to do this seminar. This is me just having an opinion. I don't know if it's the truth at all. I think this is the toughest seminar we've got for people fresh out of the Landmark Forum. I think it's the biggest challenge. It's not that the others are easier, but this one, boy, full frontal confrontation, week after week after week. Yes?
What do you mean by tough in comparison?
Well, yeah, go ask the question.
I was going to say, what do you mean by tough in comparison to the other seminars?
It's that every seminar has its confrontations. That's the nature of the seminar, is to develop and grow oneself, master the distinctions of the Landmark Forum. This one is about integrity. And we have so entangled integrity and morality that it's just tough to pull them back. I was talking about this earlier tonight. Sometimes it feels like, you know, one of those paddle balls that has a rubber ball and a little elastic cord. You throw it away and it comes back at you. That's morality. It just bounces right back. How many of you discovered that you actually have it's like it's bad if you didn't do your homework assignment? Hello? Oh, I'm not turned on? Well, let me turn myself on. Okay. He has a voice. So you get that, and we're gonna continue to untangle morality from integrity. Integrity is just what it is that has life work, and it's not just what it is; it's the bottom line. It is what has us have our lives work. It's what gives us power in life. Now, how many of you have experienced that when you actually create some integrity, that there's some power in your life? You experience yourself differently. Raise your hand if that's the case for you. Yeah, when you bring integrity into the games that you're playing in life, it actually starts to work and you're going, oh, wow, I like this. This feels great. Yeah, and when you don't, then that's when the morality goes, oh, I must be bad. Now, I have a big Sunday. I'm not going to take time right now to share this with you, but later on tonight I'm going to share with you about my relationship to Word, to create a relationship to Word. And I've had a huge, massive aha moment this week about my relationship to Word. And I'll share with you about that later on. So tonight I want to begin the conversation with how many of you have created possibility in your life at some point since you did the Landmark Forum? If you haven't, you've got to go back and do the Landmark Forum again. Raise your hand if you have. You've got at least one possibility. Something you've seen for yourself. Great. Now just take a moment and get present to that. And then I have a question for you. And you just want to answer it to yourself. How's it going? And then somebody go, oh, I forgot. I had one. Right, I did. And somebody just go, oh my God, it's so amazing what's happened. And I've got like 13 others as well. So how many of you are like one of those two places? Yeah, and how many of you are like, I'm not sure if my possibility is actually happening. Raise your hand if that's you. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. So we're kind of all over the place. And that's what one would expect at this stage of the game. The question is, how do we keep our possibilities alive and real for us over time? Notice that when you first get your possibility, aren't you just like charged up? Isn't it like amazing and wonderful and you can't wait to tell somebody, and then you go tell somebody and they go, that's good. Can I join in? And you go, sure. And then about a week later, or 2 days, or the next morning, you wake up and you go, oh, I have to do it. I had to go do my possibility. I said I was going to make 5 phone calls today. 5. Maybe I'll just do 1. And then you go turn on the computer and play a game, and it turns out to be 0. And then the next day you go, oh man, I was so bad yesterday. I don't know, maybe I should forget about it. I'll make up a new possibility. Anybody recognize that pattern? Yeah, we do. It's our pattern. Now, the good news is it's not your pattern. It's the human pattern. It's what we do when we create possibilities. Unless we keep them alive over time, they don't exist. So the conversation we're really having right now is called existence. So, not only that our possibilities actually do exist, like I got one, but how it exists is what we want to look at. So the question is, how do I keep my conversations alive? So let's ask this question before we kind of come up to a possible answer there. How do we keep our possibilities alive over time so that they get realized and become not just possibilities, but real in the world? Where we have to ask the question, where do my possibilities exist? Like, where are they? Where's your possibility? Who's got an idea? Let's go. I'll get a few ideas here. Perry?
Your possibilities exist in your word. Like,
Okay. Great. Great. Very good. Where else? Go wrong? Where do your possibilities exist?
When you write it down.
Okay. Like, got real hard, you can see it on a page. Good. Annette?
When you share them with people.
Okay. Very good. When you share them with people. And again, the question is, where do our possibilities exist? Nobody's right yet. Nobody's wrong. It's not like you bingo, you got the answer, because there isn't one. We're really now inquiring. Where could you say your conversations exist? I'm sorry, your possibilities exist.
Well, they exist in enrolling others.
They exist in enrolling others, and where does enrolling others exist?
In our word.
In our word, and what kind of words are we using when we do this?
We're using words that enroll others in what's possible.
Okay, you're doing great. You're doing great. Just stay with me, Paul. Hang on, Perry. You look way too eager. Hold that thought. So, Paul, you're doing great. So let's now really look. We've done some good looking here. Some powerful looking. No, there you are. I've got a video camera. And I'm recording you bringing your possibility into existence, and you say, I'm enrolling someone. What is the camera recording?
Well, yeah, it's recording. It's recording my words. It's recording me enrolling others in the possibility. Where the possibilities exist, though, are in the actions that we take. That
you're there. You're getting there. You're like so warm. You're like in the same room. You're practically tripping over it, but you just haven't quite said it.
Oh my goodness. It's having people in our lives that hold us accountable that we've enrolled the possibilities into.
Okay, great. You make it easier than that. It's good. This is the thinking that must be done. Conversations, the camera's rolling.
Got it?
I've got the camera go. There's the camera back there. It's recording what? It's recording you enrolling me or me enrolling you. But what's the camera saying? The camera doesn't know enrollment from chairs. It's just recording. So what's the camera recording? Let's go on. Oh, that's fine. Just have a seat. You're doing great. We're doing this all together. Who had a thought over here? Joe?
It's recording the present.
It's recording the present, not quite. It's recording in the present. So it is recording, but what's going on in the present?
The interaction.
An interaction. Terrific. What kind of interaction?
And enrolling.
An enrolling interaction. What do we call enrolling interactions? Let's go to Joe. Gio.
Could it be language?
It is language. Well, what kind of language? Okay, Perry. Let's see what Perry's going to say. She's so excited. This is great.
Because you said it like 5 times. It slipped. You said conversations.
Yeah, thank you. I did. I kept giving it away. Possibilities exist in conversations. That is an enrolling interaction. It's everything that everybody already said. But let's just like simplify it and get direct. Conversations, yes? Anybody have any question about where they exist? Did you got it, Paul? Yeah, conversation. So you want to keep your possibilities alive? You better have some conversations. How many of you think of possibilities? One day I'm just going to my superpower is going to come into being. I'm going to superpower my life and I'm going to win the lottery. No. It's not here. It's not in your head. And it's not even when you write it down, unless you do what go wrong with the writing?
You take action.
No. You could, but that's not really what I'm talking about. How does writing keep the conversation alive? When you share it. You got to send somebody an email, text people, put up a poster, write a blog, put it on Facebook. Yeah? Got that? That's where speaking and writing will keep your conversation in existence. Okay, so that's where we keep things alive over time. Now, what's it going to take to keep a conversation alive over time? The moment I speak the words, what happens to the words I just said, that we've all just said? They just disappeared. If I ask everybody, please recreate what's just been said, I'd get this many versions. Yeah, the memory is a poor existence system. Yet we insist on believing that it is a good one, that it's a powerful one. It's weak. How many of you have forgotten an appointment from time to time? Yeah, we all have. That's because the memory is not a strong existence system. So conversation is it. You want to have life work? Get into conversations. Remember last week I was saying that we don't have any hermits in this course? Joe said, well, maybe one. No. Not even Joe gets to. You want your conversations to keep your possibilities alive and empower you then to take action. We've all pointed to this. And what kinds of actions would keep a possibility in existence? What kinds of actions would you have to take to keep any possibility in existence? Who's got some ideas about that? Yes?
To put in a structure?
Put in a structure. Say a little bit more.
So you can hold yourself accountable for talking about it, when you're going to talk about it, who you're going to talk to about it.
Okay. Great, thank you. What else? Let's go with Annette, and then we'll go with Garon. So, the question is, what kinds of actions would have your possibilities stay in existence long enough to become real in the world? You know, we call it realize your possibility. That means make it real. It doesn't mean have an aha. That's my possibility. It's not that kind of realize. Got it?
Yeah. Making a promise or an agreement.
Yes. Would that be an action?
No.
Yes.
I would think if you make it to somebody.
Yeah, if you make a...
promise to somebody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you promise somebody else. You can promise yourself, I'm not going to eat the cheesecake, I'm not going to eat the cheesecake, and then you eat the cheesecake. Yeah, okay, that's great. What else? Eric. Oh, sorry. We're going to go Garon and then we'll go Eric. Sorry.
I'd say when you bring integrity to your action.
Yes, and what would that look like? Give me an example. Like, what's the first level of integrity?
I'd have to look at that.
Pass the mic. Hang on one second. What we're going to do, Eric, and keep it. I want you all to answer the question. What's the first level of integrity? It would be good for you to know this. Okay, Eric, go.
I would say actions that are aligned to your possibilities. So that's integrity, which is
Brilliant.
true to your word.
Genius speaking. Actions that are aligned with, consistent with your possibility. Perfect. It's not the only answer. Everything that's been answered is great. Okay, Paul, you have something to add? Ditto? Okay, great. We're not going to have him stand. Okay, excellent. All right, now, so that's what there is to deal with in keeping your possibilities alive. So just take a moment. Write down for yourself. Let's, before we do the writing, what is the first level of integrity? Can we have a mic for this one, Jeanette?
Yes.
Thank you. Or we'll go wrong, right here in front. What's the first level of integrity?
Keeping your agreements and promises.
Yeah, exactly. You've heard me say it a zillion times, you've read it a zillion times, and you can't remember. That's the memory. That's the memory working for you. Not. Right? So, first step of it, the first level of integrity is keeping your agreements and promises. Doing what is expected of you. That you know is expected of you. I can't expect you to do something if you don't know about it. That's not your lack of integrity. But if you know that I'm expecting you to do it, like show up, right? That's a matter of integrity, okay? And then honoring your word when you break your promises and agreements. Restoring integrity. That's all in the first level of integrity. Clear? Anybody got any questions about any of that? So that's something you want to have use you. You want to wake up in the morning used by. Integrity as a possibility at the first level. All in your homework assignment every week now. Okay, let me see what else I want to say about this. So there's one or two other interesting things to say. And then we're going to do the intentions. Okay. What is the power of keeping your conversations alive over time? Your possibilities alive over time in conversation? What's the power of that? What does it do? Joe? You can complete what you set out to do. Excellent. We call that realizing your possibility, so that the results you get take you into the world of reality. The world of reality is not wishful thinking. That's called wishful thinking. Not real. Your wish is real, but what the wish is wishing is not real. Clear? So, what else? Shall I repeat the question? All right. Yeah. So hang on, Joe. So the question is, what does keeping your agreement and what does keeping your agreements and promises alive? I'm saying it differently. What does keeping your possibilities alive over time provide for? What does it actually cause? It causes your results. It causes you to have your possibility to become real in the world. What else? Can you take the mic, would you? And by the way, would you stand when you have the mic? Everyone, let's just take that practice on for tonight.
So when you complete what you set out to do, new possibilities emerge on the other side.
Yeah, you can make space for new possibilities to come into existence. Beautiful, and we could go on and on and on. You want to expand yourself, your transformation. You got to keep your possibilities alive and empowered over time. That absolutely means having conversations, and having conversations is not just talking to yourself in the mirror. You know, you can do this, I know you can. Because you're a powerhouse. That's affirmation. I'm talking about conversations. Conversations. Maria, are you getting this?
Yes.
Okay, good. Great. All right, what else? Any other ideas? Anything else coming up? Yeah, Jim.
Whoever you're having the conversation with, you're enrolling them into the possibility of your vision.
Yeah, every time you have an enrollment conversation, we're going to talk a lot about enrollment conversations because it's really how you have your life work. Enrollment is having a possibility. Let's read it right off the board. Enrollment is causing a new possibility to be present for another, such that they are touched, moved, and inspired by that possibility. Any questions about that? It's right there. This is like gold. We should have this outlined in crystals. Gold. It's gold. And it's there. It's there so much that we become sort of numb to it. We become not present to it. But I invite you when you come into the room, just kind of read this and read that. But let's now go to our intentions for the evening. Who'd like to read the intentions of the series and the intention of tonight's session? Someone who hasn't read this yet. Oh, I can tell you're all thrilled to be here. Joe, would you go to the mic? All right, now, here's the thing. As Joe's reading this, he's not reading it to me. He's not just even just reading to all of us. He's reading it to you. He's reading it to you. He's reading it to you. Let it land where you are. And notice what the intentions make available for you tonight. Can you see? I want to pull this open so everyone can see it. Okay.
Integrity, the bottom line. Intention of the series, to create a relationship to Word as the source of designing a life of workability, freedom, and possibility. Intention of the session, to distinguish a mechanism that undermines integrity and destroys workability.
Thank you. Really great. Let's acknowledge Joe. So notice what it makes available to you. Every time we come to the seminar, I want you to read this to yourself and listen to the reading of it with fresh ears. Not what you already know, but what is now available. And each time you do that, you're going to get something big from this. Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about conversations. So when we have conversations, and I said the memory is a core existence system, there are state changes that happen in conversations. Like I pointed out, on the first day you have a new possibility. It's like thrilling. You can't wait to get more of it. The next day it's like, wasn't that a good idea? And the next day it's like, I don't know if I should, and the next day it's forgotten. Oh well, move on. Very often, our conversations that begin with a charged up, thrilling possibility devolve into obligation, pressure, burden. That's just the nature of the business. So, one day you make a promise for yourself, and then you don't want to keep it. Last week we remade the promises. And during the week, some of us have broken the promises of the seminar. So you just want to acknowledge that. Now, people break promises all the time. If you're up to something, you're bound to break promises. Hi, Lindsay, come on in. So, here's the invitation. This is an invitation / request. But I request something. I'm inviting you in this seminar not only to do what you said you would do, because you gave your word to it. We are asking you to do that. I am asking you to do that. We're asking even each other to do that. But I'm inviting you not only to do what you said, because you said you would do it, but to keep the promises that you made for being in the seminar, for participating in the seminar, alive over time. Not just from last week to this week, but for the whole time. We got till September 14th, another, what, 5-6 weeks. So the promises, here's what you want to get. The promises to do what you said you would do in the seminar were made inside a context for something. So the context is this. The context is workability, freedom, and possibility. This is the life you want to design, so that is the life that uses you. If workability, possibility, and freedom are using you, what kind of life do you get from that? Instead of burdens and obligations. So that's my invitation. So there's a little bit more here. And I invite you to acknowledge right now any promises that you broke and to regenerate them for fulfilling on the seminar. And I invite you to acknowledge any promises, like being at every session or doing your assignments, that have become a burden or an obligation for you. Anyone have that? They've become burdens and obligations. Hello, yeah, let me raise them up. So, regenerate your promises inside the commitment to pull the seminar towards you, to enliven yourself with workability, freedom, and possibility. So if you have workability, freedom, and possibility as a context that's using you instead of burdens and obligations, imagine what your life would be like. Imagine if you woke up and said, oh my God, I have to take care of my kids. I have to go to work today. I wish I didn't have to. No, what if you woke up and said, I've got kids, and I'm going to give them the best life they can possibly have. I'm going to fix their breakfast. I'm going to send them off to school. I'm going to tell them I love them. I'm going to work today, and they're going to be so happy I came. Because I'm happy I came. I've got a job to do, and I'm here to make a contribution. What if you did that? You've got to create that. You get that? It's not automatic. That's not automatic at all. You've got to create that, and if you do, something will come up for you. So if you're taking this on to enliven yourselves and to be empowered by your participation, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand and stay up, stay up, stay up, stay up, stay up. Okay, and if you haven't taken that on, anyone who's not taking it on, Michael, are you taking it on? Okay, great. Are you a procrastinator? Yeah, are you a procrastinator? Yeah. I'll do it later. All right, so great. Now that's going to require some renewal on your part. It's not automatic. It's not like, okay, boom, you're enlivened and empowered. You got to create it every day. You know, what if you woke up tomorrow morning enlivened and empowered just because you said so? Wouldn't that be something? Sometimes I wake up in the morning like that and I'm going, this is so cool. My dogs are going, what's going on? You gonna feed us? Right? So that's it. All right, excellent, excellent. Let's go to the assignment. You remember the assignment from last week? Okay, great. So here's the assignment. We're going to take some time to do a little coaching on this to really get some stuff out of the assignment. The assignment is I think this is the most powerful assignment we've had so far. It's a really fantastic assignment. It's like filled with gold mines of information, and gold mines of possibilities and opportunities, and gold mines of growth and development and transformation. Some of you didn't experience that way, I know. That's okay. It's okay. We're here to look to see what's possible. So the first part of the assignment, in case you don't remember, was to continue to work at bringing workability, freedom, and possibility to your life in the areas of life that you rated low on the scale of workability. And as part of the assignment, you were to work on any areas that you had rated low on the scale of workability, but had been putting off, Michael, taking action. So that was with the areas of life. And then we did the same thing. Let me say a little bit more of that. How you were to bring workability, freedom, and possibility to those areas of life was either by cleaning up a mess, restoring integrity, either by broken promises and agreements, or what was the other one? Anyone remember? Gail, do you remember? Could we have the mic up, please? Thanks. Why don't, if you can, just one of you sit in the mic chair and just be ready for this to jump up, because I don't know exactly when this is going to happen. Thank you. So, Gail.
Is where you've been using standards and ideals instead of principles and values.
She's got a coach right next to her. Okay, good. Okay, good. Now just say it again, Gail, so we just put it all together.
Where you've caused a problem by using standards and ideals instead of principles and values.
Okay, great. Very good. Thank you so much. Let's acknowledge Gail. All right, now, let me say it. I'm going to say it just slightly different, but it's so close. So how you were to bring workability, freedom, and possibility to any area of your life where you've rated it low on the scale of workability is to clean up a mess regarding broken promises and agreements, level 1 of integrity. Or by cleaning up a mess that you made by relating to someone from standards and ideals rather than honoring your principles and values in those areas, level 2 of integrity. Living true to your principles and values. Anybody got any questions about what that assignment was? Okay, excellent. Now the second part of the assignment was to take the thing that we just did with all the areas of our life and apply that to the relationships of our life, which is where we went last session. So, with 3 relationships that you had rated low on the scale of workability, have a conversation where you are committed to restoring integrity and create a breakthrough in that relationship. And as always, you were to continue to enroll others in the possibilities you're inventing for yourself in your life, and continue to have people in your life know you as your new possibility. Not who they used to know, but the new you. Okay, so if you did the assignment, just raise your hand. Right, if you didn't do the assignment, raise your hand. Okay, now well, let's extricate any morality from that. No, it just doesn't work that you didn't do the assignment. So I want to talk to someone who did do the assignment. By the way, you can recommit to do the homework anytime you like. Do you have to? Is it a burden and obligation to do the assignment? No. You can hear it that way, but it isn't. It's an invitation. Go do this. Have your life open up. That's what you came for. That's what you came for. I had a conversation with my sister-in-law, Janet. Today's my brother Jerry's 75th birthday. He's 75. He has Parkinson's disease. He had a terrible stroke, his 5th one. About 17 months ago, he's been bedridden ever since, and he's not going to get better. There are many other things I could even say. Some mental impairment now. You know, but he's alive. And today's his birthday, and yesterday I called my sister-in-law as part of this homework assignment. Because I hadn't called her. I had promised her I would call her once a week. Well, that was a possibility that kind of went south quick. It became burden and obligation. So I called her up and I said, first of all, Janet, it's Fred. She said, hi, honey, how are you doing? And I said, well, I'm calling you because I'm a criminal, and I promised you I would call you once a week. And she said, oh, it's all right. Totally forgiving, right? But I realized that I hadn't. And I thought, there was that morality thing coming in on bad and wrong, and yank it out, just call her. And it was very, very, very quick restoring integrity. Very quick. It wasn't a big ordeal. I just said, I thought about this and I realized I hadn't done it, and I just wanted you to know that I didn't do it, and I'm promising you right now, I'm going to call you once a week. She said, okay, I like that. That was the possibility. Just recreating what was already there and restoring integrity. And then we had a 40-minute conversation about really what was going on in her life. I wanted to know about her, the grandkids, about my brother, how's the house, what's going on. She talked about her granddaughters, whom she's so proud of. None of that would have happened if I didn't call her, right? There's just nothing there. There's nothing there for her to hang on to, and she knows now she's got a brother-in-law who is going to be supportive of her and actually care, not only about my brother, but about her and about the kids. That's how doing the assignment opens something up. I didn't know what was going to open up. She could have said, she could have been in a terrible depression, like wish someone would just call me and support me. But no, that's not what happened. I didn't know what would happen. Now, who did the assignment? I just want to hear from you. Okay, let's have Randy come up. And then Annette, you're going to come up, and Eric, let's have you come up. And if we have time, I can't see your name, Ted.
Why did you put on Felicia?
Alicia Turner. Alicia Myers. Who's Sarah Turner?
Here.
Oh, I've got would you get Thank you. And then we'll take you. Okay, so the question, let me just repeat the assignment super quick. One of the areas of life or a relationship in your life that you went out and you cleaned it up. One was with a conversation with a person, or the area of life that you cleaned up. So Randy, what did you do?
So I went and had a conversation with my father and my stepmother.
Your father and your stepmother. Oh, we talked about this on the phone the other day. Okay, great. So we had a conversation, that's why I know about this. But I don't know more. Now, so what was it? Let's just identify. What was the broken promise or agreement, or how had you been operating in that relationship from your standards and ideals? Which was that?
Operating from standards and ideals.
Yeah, so you had been measuring them.
It's funny. It turned out to be a standard that I thought that they had of me that ended up not being necessarily the case at all.
What was the case?
It was a great conversation because the standard was that I thought that they wanted me to talk to, specifically my father-in-law, that I talked to my father maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. And I had it in my mind that they thought that I was a bad child because I should speak to them every few days.
Yeah, now, and you can hear right there's that morality of a bad child. Extricate that, pull that out, and then what was left was a matter of integrity. What?
So I went and I spoke to my father and her as well, separate conversations. But conversation with my father, we started talking a lot about some of the things that happened when I grew up. He's talked a lot. We've talked about some of those things many times, but there was one thing in particular that oftentimes I would call him and he wouldn't call me back. And so I kind of felt like, I've heard that you say that your ex-wife used to control you, but that was in your office. Why didn't you ever call me back? And he got it. He said, I get how that must have felt for a child, and I apologize for that. And in that moment, it was gone, and I'm able to have a much closer conversation, both with him and with her. I went there, and they have a child who's about the same age as my son, and I was able to play with him and talk to him about some of the stuff that they're doing, the trips, and it just was a lot more free and open conversations.
Okay, great, really great. Let's applaud that. So I just want to pull some stuff out of this, okay? So you had a conversation with your dad. You actually took him on with the intention. Did you have an intention to restore integrity?
Yes, absolutely.
You did, and then you called him up, and then you said something like, when I was a kid, you didn't give me the attention I wanted, and I held it against you. Did you say something like that?
Yep.
Yeah, and he goes, wow, I didn't even realize that impact was there.
He said, he didn't say that. He said that he could see how that would affect me, and that he's the kind of guy that he was working. He was doing his job. He was doing his work, and he was wrapped up in that. And he apologized for it.
And then he apologized, and you said, and that opened it up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how easy it is, how quick it happens. Again, not a big ordeal. And then what happened? What opened up?
Well, we had a much longer conversation about a lot of other things about what I was doing in my life and what was going on with him and what was going on with his family. We don't typically talk about him and his family as much. So that was really neat for me. And then I was able to kind of probe him about some of the things about his wife, and I had a conversation with her as well about some of the other expectations and some of the things that had happened with that relationship. And
can you be specific
yeah.
on someone? Just not all of it, but just choose one that you had. What's your mother-in-law?
My stepmother.
Your stepmother, excuse me. And what transpired? What happened? First of all, you had been holding her to a standard, or you had what?
It was more of a cleaning up a mess.
Yeah, well, what was the mess you were cleaning up? That's what you want to get. It's like, the only reason a mess occurs is because there's some lack of integrity. You get that, everybody? There's no mess unless there's a lack of integrity. And the lack of integrity is always a broken promise or agreement, or not doing what you expected it would do,
right.
Or
they're not doing what was expected.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So you can see that. What was expected of you?
So when they broke the news that they were going to have a child, the look on my face must have been like, "What?" And especially because we had just lost a child ourselves, so it was a really bad time for me, and that was held against me. And so
wait a minute, that was held against me. Spell that out. Who held that against you?
My mother, my father, and my stepmother.
Held against you that
I disapproved.
Oh, that you disapproved of
them having a child.
Them having a child. Got it. That's holding them to a standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, people their age shouldn't be doing that. Isn't it interesting how we do that? And they're thinking, well, why would you even think that, right? Yeah. And then and how long did that go on? How many years?
Well, so that went on for a few years, and we've kind of talked about it a couple times. When I brought it up this time, my dad was scratching his head no, not at all. But it's done. It's over with. So it's interesting that I still had it in my head that it was a problem.
Great. Pause. How many of you have something like that where you think there's a problem, and it turns out they're going what are you talking about? Raise your hand if that's the case for you. Excellent. This is a great conversation to have with people. You get it cleaned up, boom, like that. Okay, then what happened?
So So as I was having a conversation with my stepmother at this point, she started talking about things that I had no idea that they wanted to do. They often go to Hawaii. She said, hey, when you're ready, we'd love to have your son come with us. Yes, we'd love to have a closer relationship with you guys and be together, even though we're in LA and get that it's kind of difficult. But yeah, the desire to be closer was much more than I had anticipated at all.
Yeah, so let me pause for just a second again. Where do they live?
Yeah.
If they live in LA, you live
Here in Orange County.
in Orange County, and it's difficult? That's a story. Is that a story?
It is.
It's not real. How long, what's the longest trip it would take to go from your place to theirs? Bad traffic.
3 hours.
3 hours. Well, there's the sacrifice. You got it, Randy? Is you just want to get present to how you make up a story about life not working. You really do want a close relationship with them, right? And you make up a story like it's difficult. That's one of those things that happens. It becomes then, what we were talking about earlier, keeping a possibility alive over time.